that fail. I know I said I was done making videos like this, but I just had a moment about a half hour that I need to share with you guys. The irony of this is I just shared not too long ago a video of someone who had like a moment where they had a conversation with someone who voted for Trump and they had like their moment of awakening, right? Like, oh no, I might have made a mistake. Well, folks, I just had mine. So for some context, I work for an education company. So I work with people all over the United States. And after the election, my company posted on our like channel that we use to communicate with, they said, thank you for everybody who got out and exercised their right to vote, like yada, yada. And you could tell, it was very, very easy to tell who voted for who based on how you reacted to this post. And I have to say, I was a little shocked when I saw this specific person react happily to this post, because this person that I no longer work closely with because of just like reassignments, this specific person that I'm going to be referring to lives in Oklahoma. So it's been about 2 weeks since the election. And this person reached out to me this morning and they said, hey, I have a question. You used to sit in IEP meetings and you have experience with IEPs from your time in the classroom, right? And I said, yeah. I have experience in Ohio with IEPs. Like they do differ by state, but I can help, like what's up? So this person continues to tell me that they just got out of their son's IEP meeting. Now their son's supposed to receive services next year. He's going into second grade. And they go, is it really something that they can do? Like they can deny my son's services? They're saying that they might not have services next year. If you've been following anything in the media lately, you are going to get there before I get there. And I said, well, legally, no, if your son has services in writing. An IEP is a legal document and it protects your son's rights. So no, it's not legal. However, if they don't provide the services and we get rid of said department that pushes those services, you no longer have the obligation, or the school no longer has the obligation to provide those services because they no longer have the department that provides them. And they continue to say, well, I don't understand how they can do that. Like he's supposed to receive services. They're saying they might not even have a department next year. And then they're also saying that they spent a ton of money on new literature for next year. That caught my attention. So I said, well, what literature? I know what literature, but I want to know what they have to say. And then they say, well, some sort of literature for like Western civilization courses. And you mean the Bibles that Oklahoma just sent to all of their schools that schools are going to receive money for if they actually implement them? That literature? I just sat there like jaw on the floor. I could not believe that I was actually experiencing this in real life. Like I've seen plenty of like, people are calling it like the F around and find out moments that people are having now that they are actually seeing what's going to be happening now that Trump has been voted in. And I didn't think I'd actually experienced one firsthand. Like I have to say, it's a bittersweet feeling because to see the ignorance of somebody like suffer the consequences of their said actions, that student is still going to suffer because the services that they need are not going to be available to them next year. Because why were people so like floored that when Trump said he was going to defund the Department of Education, which by the way, this woman is probably going to run. If you don't recognize her, turn on the wrestling channel. Apparently she's associated with that. I just want to be alive for the day that we actually put somebody in this position that knows what the F they're doing. This is how teachers feel when we assign an open book test and you still get students that fail. People had months, years even, with this man to study for the test. The test is voting day. How are you going to have years of time to have an open book test and still fail the test? How? How are people floored that Obamacare is the same thing as the Affordable Care Act? Why are people astonished that grocery prices are actually going to go up, and they already are starting to, before if they even go down? How are people like mind blown when they're reading articles about deportation happening to people that they actually love and care about in their lives? The privilege to not care and not do proper research and not figure out what the heck is going on in your own country is really about to bite some people. And unfortunately, like in my example, it's not just going to be the voters that pay for it. It's going to be our kids. It's going to be our students. It's going to be the people that we don't even realize are going to be impacted by this. And I'm just like, those Bibles though, when we assign an open book test and you